Oh, just pause for a minute and take this in. It's what's coming, what we have to look forward to. Utah, as we all know, one of the best places to see gorgeous fall colors in the mountains. But getting out there when the yellows and oranges are at their brightest, it can be a bit of a guessing game. We have the man here to help us with at least an educated guess, KSL TV's chief meteorologist, Kevin Eubank. Thanks for being here, bud.
You bet. How are you?
Best time of the year. I'm good.
I know. I love fall.
I do too. In fact, I apologize to viewers because I say I love fall like 10,000 times.
I know.
But it doesn't get better than fall in Utah.
I totally agree. And what I love about our falls is, number one, they're a pretty good season. We get them a good month and a half, 2 months, and it's so diverse it seems to stretch out throughout the whole state. So northern Utah gets it early, and then southern Utah gets it later, and it just kind of elongates everything.
I'll tap into your meteorologist expertise. Okay. Scientifically, what is prompting the change? What triggers the colors?
So the crazy thing is, and we've learned this in school before, but the trees are already that color. It's the chlorophyll in the leaf that makes them all green. So the natural color of the tree is the leaf color we see in the fall.
Okay.
And so what happens is when the chlorophyll production ceases, then we start to see color. And that happens because of daylight. So as we get into the fall and we get less sunlight, the trees go, oh, it's time to change. And that's when they start to withdraw the chlorophyll to preserve their energy for the winter that's coming.
See, you just took me back to 4th grade.
I know.
Chlorophyll.
Isn't that awesome?
A word I haven't heard in a while.
See, here you go.
So we all have our favorites, but what locations would you recommend? Northern Utah makes your list.
Oh yeah, northern and southern Utah, and it kind of goes in phases. So it totally depends on where you are. But in northern Utah, you can go up to Logan and to Bear Lake, over the Alpine Loop. Midway, I was up at Wasatch State Park the other day, and they're starting to pop up on the hill.
Already?
Already.
Okay.
It is so crazy. Because we've got such towering mountains here, our elevations start changing. So this beautiful picture, that was up in Midway or just a week ago. So it's amazing how fast they start to change in the high elevations. Then they work into those mid elevations.
When it gets cooler.
When it gets cooler, and then it works to the valleys as we get later into the month. So I just love that, number one, we get to see them, but we get to see them over such a long period of time at different locations.
You stagger your timing and you plan your trips and you get to enjoy it for a few months.
Yeah, those high elevation passes are only bright for a couple of weeks. But then those mid elevation, they send to Park City and others, they just stretch on. And then the valleys all start coming on in October, and those are fun too. But yeah, it's just a great place to go see stuff.
Southern Utah, where should be on our list?
Southern Utah, you've got to check out places. Bryan Head Cedar Breaks is just a stunning drive. Over through Zion, if you've never been Springdale to Zion, that's fantastic. And then Kolob Canyon, Kolob Reservoir. You can't go wrong. That's another thing I think I love about Utah in fall is every national forest, every group of trees has brilliant color every year. And so there's some years that are muted, but even the muted years are fantastic. Now, we're not Vermont, we're not Maine, we're not full, we have a lot more of the pine than we do of the deciduous trees, but it still is brilliant, and we get such great color.
And the pine almost becomes this like moody background.
I know.
That it pops off of. So
I totally agree.
Vermont, you take it. We're fine where we are. We're fine where we are. And timing, again, a little tricky based on temperatures, but you guys keep us posted over there in the Weather Center.
Yeah, and it's interesting, the high mountains start going mid-September, and they're done by early October. I mean, it's just a 3-week. But then the next round comes on, and then the next round. And really, you're looking at these peak leaf opportunities. You can see these stretches, and they really last for only 3 to 4 weeks. But the cool thing is that you work from northern to southern Utah, and the southern valleys, they're still seeing leaf change from Halloween to the first part of November.
So cool.
And so you get on the road and you take a road trip a couple hours south and you get to see the fall leaves all over again.
We're so lucky.
We are lucky.
And it really is this romantic view. And every year I'm determined to catch it all. So I'm grateful for the timing and the advanced heads up. I also have this super cheesy tradition. Have you ever heard the song Glorious, made most famous, I think, by David Archuleta, but Russ Dixon sings a version, and I save it for fall leaves. I turn on that Glorious and I just take it in.
You're so funny. We have a similar soundtrack that we
it?
always started listening to. It was an old bluegrass soundtrack that my wife had.
Okay.
And it's a song that I don't even know the artist, but it's When Fall Comes to New England.
You gonna sing it?
And no. And it goes in every year when we go fall sightseeing. And the other thing I love about Utah and the talented photographers here, if you're homebound, if you can't get out, you can go to the photo galleries and just see the stunning photography that others take.
Yeah.
So if you can't get out, don't fret and don't go, oh, it's all lost. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Go look at some of the beautiful things on social media or on your webpage and all the other places. It's so cool to see people who share their talent.
Yeah.
And if you couldn't get there, somebody else did. And I'm sure they took a picture.
I love that you nightly feature just local photographers that are out there getting it.
It's fun.
I'll send you my favorite copy of Glorious if you send me
When Fall Comes to New England.
Okay, fine.
I got it.
Kevin, thank you so much.